What's going on, CFC Universe? It is the chairman and founder of CFC, Canadian Fighting Championship, Matt Storm, also known as Cory, which is my real name. So I just want to make this video to give y'all some tips of how to start a successful Ro-mma fed for those people who are wanting to start a Ro-mma fed of their own. These are tips that I'm grateful that I knew before I started the Fed. And my Fed, if we're going to talk about my Fed, I'd say my Fed has been pretty successful. I mean, we're the biggest Ro-mma cleans Fed on Roblox right now that UFC went animated. We have over 100 members in group, 130 members in the Discord, and we also got a Twitter and a YouTube channel, which I'm posting this video on right now. So we have a good roster. We get 20 players a show. We have a great product. And so what I'm saying is, if you want tips to start a Ro-mma fed, I think it's pretty clear that I'm one of the guys you should go to. So without further ado, let's get into tip number 1. So in my opinion, this is the most important tip because this is the number one reason why most Ro-mma feds, or just feds in general, this is the number one reason why most feds fail, because the owner cares way too much about how many members they have. And at the end of the day, members are just numbers. They do not matter. I've seen 60 member feds get 30 player shows. So members in general just do not matter. You can have a 30 member fed and put on way better shows than 1,000 member feds. But at the end of the day, members do not matter. What matters is having a good product, putting on good shows, having a good roster, and giving people a reason to come back to your shows. That's what matters, not members. So I'd say my advice to you, if you're looking to start a Ro-mma fed, don't give a shit about how many members you have. So just wanted to get that point out of the way. Focus on putting on good shows and giving people a reason to come back. That's what you should care about. Now this tip is important because the first thing you should do before starting a Ro-mma fed is you gotta know who you are. That's what Dana White did when he was starting UFC. He knew that he was the UFC and he was going to put on UFC shows. So the number one thing you should do before starting a Ro-mma fed is you got to know who you are. When I started CFC, I knew we were CFC and we were going to put on the shows that CFC wanted to put on. We got our roster. We cemented our name in Ro-mma. And we knew who we were. We were Canadian Fighting Championship, the number one Canadian fed in Ro-mma. So that's important because you don't want to be anyone else. You want to be you. Why would you want to be the next UFC or the next fucking MFC when you can be the first you? So yeah. Tip number 2, know who you are. Now, this is another tip that's important because you gotta have your own talent. Having talent in general is important for feds, but having your own talent is showing who you are and what fed you are. CFC, we have our own talent. Sure, we have our Eagles or our Hexers or our Freds or yada yada yada, but we also have our own talent. Purely Sean Soda, Nexio, Zachary Xavier, Draylon Johnson, veteran of the game, Ethan Storm, Jack Durbin, and so many more guys. We have our own talent. So this tip is important because if you want your fed to succeed, you gotta be who you are and you gotta have your own homegrown talent. So tip number 3, have your own talent. Now, this tip is important because you don't want to have a staff team that's taking all the group runs or kicking all the members out of your Discord or yada, yada, yada. You want to have a staff team that you can rely and depend on. Firstly, CFC, has Ethan Power as its co-chairman. Ethan, I've known him in real life for like 8 years in real life, and he's one of my close friends, and I can trust 50% of CFC in his hands. So firstly, we have him. Now earlier I talked about how you should want people to come to your shows, you should want to give them a good experience at your shows, and you should give them a reason to come back to your show. And what plays a big part in this is ear developing. Ear developing plays a big part in the experience of a player's show. Now I'll admit, CFC, we don't have the best developing, but we have decent developing. We have good GUIs from Eagle, we have no lag in our arenas, and that's what plays a big part in our Fed. So you should want to get yourself good developing, and you should want to have a decent arena. It doesn't have to be anything big, it can be a small arena, but I'd say what plays a big part in decent developing is rarely any lag and just people having a good experience, a good time in general. So tip 5, have decent developing. Okay, now I know I said members aren't important because they're not, but getting your Fed's name out there is important because you want your Fed to be seen in the public eye of Ro-mma for it to succeed, so people know that your Fed exists. So a good way to get your Fed out there is to invite players to go into random Ro-mma discords, send random people the link to your server, and most of the time they'll join. I wouldn't suggest sending the link in the server in general because most discords don't want that stuff in their server and you might get banned, but I take going to their DMs and just send the fucking link because why not? And yeah, that's a good way CFC got its first 80 members, and that played a big part in our success. And yeah, tip number 6, get your name out there. Alright, so that's going to be it for today. Make sure to tune to CFC2 at 3 p.m. East. We might be streaming it if we get a poster. But yeah, see y'all in the next video.